What's going on, guys? So this is kind of a different video than probably what you're used to seeing, but I kind of want to do something different and share something or some things that you may not know about me. And obviously, I am in the driver's seat of a car right now. I'm not sitting in my room right now with all my computer equipment and stuff. But for people who are eagle-eyed, who have looked in the background of my videos, know that I like cars, especially like Fast and Furious, Paul Walker, all that stuff. That guy's my dude. Like, I love that guy. Like, he really is a big part of why I'm a car guy, especially right now at 24 years old. I mean, I grew up watching Fast and Furious, playing Forza. Playing Gran Turismo. Mario Kart.
Now on Nintendo DS, Mario and his friends bring their fire-hot racing battle to an all-new stage.
Like anything that had to do with cars, man, I was on it. Now, before we go any further, I guess I'm going to go ahead and explain what in the world I'm driving today. And what I'm driving today is my own 1997 Mitsubishi 3000 GT. It's a non-VR4 model, just naturally aspirated V6, 5-speed manual, front-wheel drive. This thing's a blast to drive. So to give a little context to the 3000 GT, I got this car when I was 16, so almost 8 years ago this year. And before that, I'd had another car. This is my first car. It's a 2003 Mitsubishi Eclipse GT. Had the V6, it was automatic, and I ended up totaling the car. It was a freak accident. It wasn't my fault. But either way, we got a better deal out of things because I got this car instead. So the story about this car goes that my dad was looking on Craigslist, and he found a listing for this thing for like, I think it was like $3,500 or something like that. I can't remember. And it was located in South Carolina. It's a little ways away from where we're from. So me and him, we go down there, me and him and my mom, and we look over the car. The car's got 48,000 miles on it as of 2017. The car's 20 years old, or 21 years old, because I guess it was built in 96. But the car was 21 years old and only had 48,000 miles. That was just like a rarity. I mean, it's just really strange. So we test drove it. I really liked it. I didn't even know how to drive manual at the time, but I kind of limped my way along because I kind of knew how to do it from playing games and watching my dad and stuff like that. But either way, so we get the car. We get the car for $3,200, and that's like unheard of now, especially for these prices these days. Getting a low mileage 3000 GT or a Japanese car from that era. I mean, unless it's just a complete roller and there's nothing in it, maybe you could get a 3000 for that cheap that's in good shape like this one was. So we took it home. I started learning how to drive manual at the time, and started taking it to high school. I daily drove it through high school. But it was really at that time, that's really when I really fell hard into being a car guy. Now, before this, when I was younger, like I said, I watched Fast and Furious. I played a lot of Forza on my Xbox, Gran Turismo on PlayStation. I remember when Speed Racer, the movie, come out. You know the one I'm talking about, the live-action Speed Racer movie. I loved it a bunch. That really lit a fire under me, too. And then, I mean, just in general, there were so many things that made me love anything car-related. But whenever I got this car and started learning how to drive it and got into it, I really fell head first into loving cars. And this car too, like before Dad found this, I had never even heard of a 3000 GT. Whenever I thought of Mitsubishi, the only thing I knew was the Eclipse and the Evo. And that was just based off the video games and stuff I'd seen or Fast and Furious. I had no clue what a 3000 GT was, or Galant, or these other cars that they made back in the past. If it wasn't Supra or GTR or Skyline or RX-7, I didn't know what it was, because that's just the type I got. That's the type of guy I was when I was like 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. Got older, now I started learning how to work on cars, with my dad doing this stuff, and that's kind of what got me interested in doing more technical stuff when I got in high school, or in college too. But again, like, I've always loved movies. That's like my big thing. But right behind that is cars. Honest, well, you know what? I lied to you. Cars is number one. I love anything automotive. Like just your average gearhead is about the easiest thing I can equate uh, this feeling to. Um, that's the only thing that makes sense to describe it. But I've been wanting to share this information for a while, especially now that I've gotten just a little viewership, and I'm super appreciative of that. But I don't want to do just Marvel and movies and stuff like that all the time, especially comic book stuff. I would love to talk more about like Fast and Furious, Need for Speed, Gone in 60 Seconds. I mean, just other car related stuff. I mean, again, I love that. But yeah, cars have always been a huge passion for me. I just, I don't know. But I guess to give a general rundown of this car before I get too far ahead of myself, just for fun. So, like I said, this is a 97 3000 GT, naturally aspirated V6, 6G72, 3 liter, 5 speed. And I've basically just done some basic mods to it, nothing crazy. Got some BC Racing coilovers on this thing. I got Corbo racing seats, nice Sparco. I think it's an L999 wheel, if I remember correctly. I've got I've got an NRG hub right here for my hub adapter. I've got power stop brakes, HPS cold air intake, Mishimoto radiator, and then I've got a custom catback, stainless steel catback exhaust, all the way from my exhaust manifold and back. And it goes out to a quad, just like factory, but the tips are bigger. It looks cooler, but it gives it that nice factory look, like I was going for. But it's also got a bunch of other little ins and out parts, custom stuff that I've made. Right here, my passenger seat below, I've got a fire extinguisher mounted. That's actually something I did this week. But a lot of this stuff did come from 3SX Performance. They're located in Concord, North Carolina. They're not super far from where I live. So I've made some personal trips through there. I've had them ship stuff to me. It's somewhere I go normally for all my 3000 GT or Stealth stuff. So if you're one of the few people who are looking for parts for your 3000 GT or your Dodge Stealth, 3SX Performance is the place to look. They've got factory stuff, they've got custom stuff, they got aftermarket parts. Good place to go and look for stuff if you're not sure. They got a lot of good information. And to speak on that, Ground Zero Performance is also a great place to look. They have all kinds of stuff too, engines, transmissions, cosmetic pieces. They've got everything. So 3SX and then Ground Zero Performance, I want to give them a huge shout out. They've done me solids over the several years I've had this car. Good people. But I guess to kind of get back to what I was saying, cars has always been a huge thing for me. It's always been a big passion. Forza Horizon, my dad, the first racing game I really got into was Forza Horizon, the first one that came out in 2012. Dad bought it for me for my 360, and I fell in love instantly. But kind of before that, I kind of played Gran Turismo, I think it was 3 or 4, on the PlayStation 2 over his shoulder. Then he had Corvette. He had a bunch of other racing games and flying games. That's really what got me into it. And then Test Drive. Test Drive, I think it came out in 2002 or 2001. One of the coolest games ever. It basically should be called Fast and Furious, the game. Like, the music, it's got Ja Rule, it's got Saliva, it's got music that's basically from the actual soundtrack of the first Fast movie. And then the Charger, the Supra, these other cars are in there. It's basically a Fast and Furious video game without calling it a Fast and Furious video game. And that's the coolest thing I can say about it. But I love Test Drive. But like I said, when I got older, I got into Forza Horizon. That was like that was my game. And then it wasn't long after that, I got an Xbox One, and I started playing Forza Horizon 2 when it came out, and Motorsport 5. Now, I didn't really care much for the motorsport games because I didn't like to be stuck on tracks. I didn't like being confined. The handling wasn't I didn't think it was as fun at the time, even though I didn't realize it was more realistic. I loved Horizon, the way that the car is handled and the customization and the goofy liveries. Like, I loved all that. And honestly, Forza is kind of what helped me in my younger years before I even got this car. It kind of helped me distinguish the difference between camshafts, flywheels, intercoolers, intakes, what each thing does, the way the weight savings work, front and rear anti-roll bars, tuning cars with gear ratios. Like, it really helped me wrap my head around the mechanics or the technical side of automotive stuff. And I'll always love Forza for that. And to this day, I still play Horizon 5, Gran Turismo 7, the Crew Motorfest. Like, I love racing games. And I've got a little racing sim back there in my room. I don't know if it's ever been in the corner of any of my videos. It may or may not have been. But I love racing games. I love driving in real life. Cars is my bread and butter, besides movies and music and stuff like that. But I don't want to make this all about cars, so I kind of want to talk about some other stuff you may not know about me too. Another thing is I love photography. I got really into this in 2020 back when I was in college and COVID happened. We couldn't do anything, go anywhere, so I just go up in the mountains, places around us, and I go take pictures with my dad's camera. And I learned how to take pictures. Like, I got really into it, and I still am to this day. I've got a Canon R8 EOS now, and I shoot stuff on my own and things for other people. I love photography. And then I've also got into, obviously, I like videography. I like that a bunch, editing. And but another new thing that I've been doing is stuff with drones, especially a DJI Mini Pro 4. I've had one. My wife got one for me. I've been learning how to fly it and use it, video with it. I'm really hooked. Like, I love the drone stuff, and I really want to incorporate that some in my future projects or even stuff like this or for fun. And then another weird thing, I do it time to time, but I love playing guitar. I play guitar since I was 13, 14 maybe. So I love playing electric, acoustic. I love rock music, especially from the early 2000s, like new metal and 70s, 80s, 90s. Like, I love rock. That's like my bread and butter. But since I'm from the mountains, I'm from the South, I do like a good bit of country too, I won't lie. But yeah, that was just kind of something I want to talk about. Like I said, I was born in 2001. When I was growing up, Fast and Furious was really prevalent. I was in the theater opening day whenever Furious 7 come out, and even when I was 14, I cried like a baby over the "See You Again" and Paul Walker's send off. Like, at that point, like by the time Furious 7 was coming out, that is when I really got big into cars because Forza Horizon 2 was out. Usually the people who recognize me in the car or say something about the car are a little bit older, like my dad's age and people who were around whenever these cars come out. And, we talk about it. But I love whenever I see like these younger kids or even people like my age, like who played Forza or know Japanese cars, who get excited over seeing something like this. I love that to death, especially when I can give it a little gas or just talk to somebody about it. Like, if they're enthusiastic, I'm enthusiastic. I love talking cars and shop with anybody who is equal-minded. Like, I love that. I love going to local cars and coffees that we've got in surrounding counties, surrounding areas. A lot of stuff in town. We've got some cruisings in town that started a few years ago. It was kind of a thing that my parents did and people did in the past. They just cruised town, but that was kind of nipped in the butt. They wanted to get rid of that, and they got tired of it. And then it wasn't but a few years ago that the Facebook group was organized and people started cruising again at different days of the month and during the summers. And it's been great. Like, it's given me a chance to experience what cruisings were like at least kind of what it was like for my parents. People met their husbands, their wives cruising cruising the street. They met their best friends. I wanted to get a piece of that, and we finally got some of that. Honestly, the car part is good enough. Like, we see a bunch of good stuff. People local around here with Chevelles, with their Camaros, their big wagons with a big V8 in it, all kinds of stuff. But I mean, that's the thing. I love going to see the cars, but the real reason I go is because I want to talk to my friends. I want to start conversations with people I don't even know, and I love talking to people my age or especially older. I just love talking to people, especially when it's about something that we share an interest about. And yeah, I love that to death. I guess to kind of wrap up kind of my thoughts on, again, me being in the cars and stuff, the games, the movies, all of that had a lot to do with it. But really, I think a lot of it's rooted in just, I know it sounds cheesy, in my opinion, it's in my blood. Uh, my grandparents, they were big in the cars. But like I was saying before, though, like I'm really proud of my family and where I've come from, and living in the Blue Ridge Mountains. Um, it's a beautiful place. Mom and dad, they're big into cars too. They got a 1986 Camaro IROC. It's really cool. It's got a beefy small block in it, and then my uncle, he's got I think it's a 13 or 14 Shelby GT 500. I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's just a family thing. Like, we love cars, and it's not going to change anytime soon. I mean, like I said, I love this car to death. I'm proud of where I'm from. I'm proud of the heritage and how cars are important in this area and everywhere around the world. But yeah. And so are my parents. They've actually got a 1986 Camaro IROC Z. Uh, got a big, or it's got a nice small block in it. Uh, Sounds awesome. They done it themselves, especially my dad. It's awesome. So I mean, he's always been a point of inspiration for me, and made me want to do what I do now, and even career-wise, working on stuff. Like, I'm all over the place, but to kind of get back to what I was saying is, even my family heritage, like my grandparents, my parents, they were all gearheads and still are gearheads, and I feel like that just bled naturally into me. But it's kind of funny though, like back when I was in high school, a bunch of my really close friends all played sports. They loved sports. That was their thing that they did. I was never into sports. I was always the one watching movies or wanting to stay at home and do car stuff, play games, or just go outside and do different things. I didn't care about sports. I never did. So, in a weird way, through high school, it kind of was a lonely thing. But the older I got, especially in the college and going out to these cars and coffees, I started meeting different people. And I met this one guy. He's one of the best friends I have. I'll say his first name just to shout him out. His name's Ryan. Now, at the time, I was like I was 18 or 19 when I met this guy, and he's 6 years older than me at the time. But we met while I was working at a little grocery store. I was in school, and he had a like a '04 WRX, and I've seen a lot of Subarus. They're common in this area. I mean, they're just a popular car. But his was the first one that I saw that I was like, man, this is nice. It made me kind of respect it, and I wanted to learn more about it. And he was so smart. But he is the first adult that I met that I didn't go to school with that I became best friends with. Me and him did everything together. We watched Fast and Furious together, Initial D. He introduced me to a bunch of stuff that I had never even thought about before. And he's the one who kind of helped me get some courage to go out to these car meets, these cars and coffees, and go out and meet people and show off my little dinky 3000 GT that I had, and I thank him every day for it, man. I just I wish I could tell him, but he was a huge part of my formative years outside of high school, and I still talk to him. You know, we're going to try to do more things together. When you grow up, you become adults, things happen. You don't get to hang out with your buddies as much anymore. But yeah, I just wanted to shout him out. He's awesome. I hope maybe in the future you might see him on the channel with me, and we might talk about Fast and Furious Initial D, something like that. But yeah, I just want to give him a shout out. Again, to kind of wrap things up, I know I've said this like 15 times, but to kind of wrap up my thoughts a little bit, I just wanted to kind of talk about my background with cars and some things that were kind of on my mind. I was kind of spitballing most of the time. But yeah, that's just something neat. I thought maybe certain certain ones of you might think is interesting. Maybe it'll attract some new audience members. But yeah, I would love to show off and drive around this 3000 GT a little more on the channel and do some more car related content. not all the time, but I would love to sprinkle it in and sprinkle it into like movie reviews with car movies and maybe even video games too. Like, it's a big passion of mine. Not that I was hiding it, but I really want to be transparent and make it clear. But yeah. With that said, though, I think this is a good place to end it. Thanks for watching. I know this is a really strange video. The ones of you who have only seen my Daredevil and my Hulk and all my content up to this point. But yeah, I hope maybe you guys can stick around, bear with me, or if you're new here, thanks for clicking and listening to me ramble about cars and some other stuff. It's been a treat. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Yeah, peace.